Did you know that what you do in the very first hour after waking up could be one of the most powerful predictors of how long and how well you'll live? It may sound surprising, but groundbreaking research shows that your early morning actions can either accelerate aging or activate powerful biological systems that promote healing, clarity, and long-term vitality. Most people have no idea that their daily morning routine might be quietly sabotaging their health, energy, and longevity before they've even had their first sip of coffee. In this video, I'm going to reveal 7 life-changing morning habits practiced by people who consistently live into their 90s and even hundreds, people who remain sharp, strong, and full of life, long after others have slowed down. And here's the most exciting part. Habit number 3 takes less than 30 seconds, yet it could extend your life by years. These aren't gimmicks. These are evidence-based rituals used by real people in the world's longest living communities that your doctor probably never mentioned, but absolutely should have. Let me introduce you to someone who embodies this truth. Her name is Eleanor. At 67, Eleanor found herself surrounded by friends her age who were beginning to decline, some with serious heart conditions, others facing cognitive challenges, mobility issues, and mounting prescriptions. She worried she was next. But something happened that changed the course of her life. She attended a small health retreat in the Pacific Northwest, where she was introduced to a series of scientifically supported morning habits that promised to improve energy, brain function, and overall health. Skeptical but curious, Eleanor started practicing just a few of them and was amazed by the changes. Fast forward to today, Eleanor is 94 years old. She still lives in her own home, hikes with her walking group twice a week, and mentors young women in her community. When asked how she stays so active and healthy while so many of her peers have declined, Eleanor simply smiles and says, "I change my mornings. That's when everything changed." It wasn't genetics. Her family history included diabetes, heart disease, and Alzheimer's. It was her daily choices, especially in the first hour after waking, that made the difference. And now I'm going to share Eleanor's morning habits with you. These 7 simple rituals are backed by decades of research and followed by some of the longest living people on Earth. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need fancy equipment. You just need to begin. Because how you start your morning can reset your entire body, from your immune system to your brain, your joints, and your heart. So if you're ready to live not only longer, but better, then keep watching. These are the 7 morning habits that could change everything after 60. Before we begin, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you enjoy this video, please type 1 in the comments. If you don't like it, type 0 in the comments to let me know so I can make better videos for you. Now let's get started. Habit 1. Immediate hydration, fueling life, before your feet. Hit the floor. Here's a critical truth that most people overlook. After just 1 night of sleep, your body is already in a mild state of dehydration. And this hidden dehydration can quietly trigger a chain reaction of detrimental effects inside your system. When you open your eyes in the morning and haven't yet had any water, your blood is literally thicker than it should be. This increases strain on your heart, slows down your metabolism, and places unnecessary pressure on your brain and kidneys. In fact, neglecting hydration first thing in the morning might be one of the most overlooked accelerators of aging in modern life. But the good news? It's one of the easiest to fix, and the benefits are undeniable. Longevity experts and nephrologists, particularly those at prestigious institutions like Harvard Medical School, have long warned about the dangers of what they refer to as morning blood sludging. According to Dr. Jessica Rothman, a renowned researcher in renal aging at Harvard, while you sleep, your body loses water through respiration and sweat, even if you're not aware of it. By the time you wake up, your blood becomes thicker, your kidneys are under strain, and your brain is operating with less oxygen and reduced circulation. That's why many heart attacks and strokes happen in the early morning hours. Hydrating immediately upon waking helps reverse this process and signals your body that it's time to reboot for the day ahead. Understanding this critical shift in your body's morning state can be a game changer. Let me share a powerful example with you. Harold, a retired postal worker from Michigan, had struggled for years with chronic fatigue, borderline kidney issues, and brain fog that made everyday tasks feel like a challenge. At 72, he was constantly tired, often forgetful, and his doctors were starting to suggest prescription medications to help manage his condition. However, after watching a health seminar about the importance of morning hydration, Harold decided to make one small but powerful change. Every evening he placed a 16-ounce glass of water on his nightstand. Then, every morning, before his feet even touched the floor, he drank it slowly and steadily. The results were nothing short of remarkable. Within just 2 months, Harold noticed a dramatic shift in his health. His energy levels had skyrocketed, his kidney function improved by 30%, and most significantly, the mental fog that had plagued him for years had lifted. "I thought I needed a new doctor," Harold admitted. "Turns out I just needed water." This small, simple habit had rejuvenated his body and mind in ways he never expected. So, here's the simple, step-by-step approach. Tonight, place a full glass of water on your nightstand. The moment you wake up, before checking your phone, before brushing your teeth, and before your mind is overwhelmed with the tasks of the day, drink the entire glass of water. Not coffee, not tea, just plain room temperature water. The temperature is important, as room temperature water is gentler on your body's natural waking systems and more quickly absorbed. This one action sends a powerful signal to your heart, brain, and kidneys that it's time to wake up, reset, and operate at their best. Think of it as your body's internal wake-up call, a way of saying to your organs, it's time to start the day. If you're serious about thriving well into your 70s, 80s, and even your 90s, this habit is not just a suggestion, it's non-negotiable. In some of the world's longest-lived regions, like Okinawa in Japan and Sardinia in Italy, centenarians don't start their day dehydrated. They hydrate before they do anything else. These people know that morning hydration is a cornerstone of longevity. Can you commit to this simple habit starting tomorrow? 1 glass of water, 1 minute of your time. Potentially years added to your life. It really is that simple. Try it tomorrow morning and see how this small yet powerful act can transform your energy, brain function, and overall vitality. Habit 2. Morning sunlight, resetting your body's master clock. Here's a truth that almost no one talks about, yet it affects every aspect of your health, especially as you age. If you're not getting natural sunlight within the first 30 minutes of waking, you may be unknowingly disrupting one of your body's most vital biological systems, your circadian rhythm. And the consequences go far beyond poor sleep. Research now shows that missing this critical light exposure in the morning can accelerate aging, increase your risk of neurodegenerative diseases, and throw off your metabolism for the entire day. According to a groundbreaking study from the National Institute on Aging, early morning light exposure increases the brain's production of melatonin later in the evening by up to 73%, a natural hormone that not only helps you sleep, but also plays a crucial role in cellular repair and immune regulation. Dr. Andrew Peterson, a leading authority on circadian biology, explains, "The first light your eyes receive each morning acts like a reset button for your internal clock. It triggers a hormonal domino effect that impacts your alertness, mood, energy, and even your brain's detoxification process. Without that signal, your body operates out of sync, aging faster at a cellular level." Take the story of Margaret, a 78-year-old retired schoolteacher from Oregon. For years, Margaret struggled with chronic insomnia, mood swings, and relentless fatigue that made her feel twice her age. She had tried everything: herbal remedies, blue light blocking glasses, and even sleeping pills that left her groggy and dependent. Then her doctor suggested something surprisingly simple: step outside for 10 minutes within the first half hour of waking, no matter the weather. So, every morning, wrapped in a warm robe and holding a cup of tea, Margaret sat on her front steps as the sun rose. Within just 2 weeks, her sleep improved dramatically, deeper, longer, and more restorative. But that wasn't all. Her mood lifted. Her morning brain fog disappeared, and even her blood pressure began to normalize. "It's like I gave my body back the rhythm it had been missing for years," she told me, smiling. "Here's how you can do the same. Tomorrow morning, commit to getting outside within 30 minutes of waking. You don't need a park or a beach. Your backyard, balcony, or front steps will do. Even a few minutes of natural daylight, especially before 9 a.m., will activate the photoreceptors in your eyes that tell your brain, it's morning, let's go." This isn't about sunbathing, it's about syncing your biology with nature's clock. And don't be fooled by cloudy days. Natural outdoor light is still dozens of times brighter than indoor lighting and contains the full spectrum your body craves. If going outside isn't possible due to weather or mobility issues, open a window, let the fresh air in, and sit where the light can reach your eyes. Alternatively, invest in a medical-grade light therapy lamp to mimic natural daylight in the winter months. But remember, nothing truly replaces the real thing. This small habit doesn't just help you sleep better. It literally recalibrates your body's timekeeping system, affecting hormones, brain health, cardiovascular function, and even longevity. Missing your morning light is like trying to run a marathon with no starting gun. Your body doesn't know when or how to function at its best. So the question is, will you give yourself the gift of light tomorrow morning? It's free, it's easy, and it could be one of the most powerful tools you have to slow aging naturally and effortlessly. Why wait another day? Habit 3. The 30-second cold splash, a tiny habit that triggers a longevity surge. What if I told you that just 30 seconds of discomfort could activate your body's hidden fountain of youth? That's not an exaggeration, it's biology. One of the simplest yet most powerful longevity-boosting habits practiced by the healthiest elders around the world is brief cold exposure in the morning. And no, you don't need to plunge into an icy lake or spend hundreds on cryotherapy chambers. All it takes is water, a bit of courage, and the willingness to embrace discomfort. For years, scientists believed that aging was primarily determined by genetics. However, recent breakthroughs in cellular biology have revealed something revolutionary. How we stress our bodies, particularly in small, controlled ways, has a profound impact on how long and how well we live. One form of beneficial stress: cold exposure. Dr. Eliza Grant, a leading researcher in hormetic stress at Johns Hopkins University, explains, "A quick burst of cold activates your vagus nerve, stimulates brown fat, and increases metabolic function. It also sends a signal to your mitochondria, the energy factories within your cells, to upgrade their performance. That results in more energy, less inflammation, and slower cellular aging." In other words, a little cold shock can trigger a cascade of health benefits that not only improve your daily energy, but also protect your cells from the ravages of time. Think of this practice as a signal to your body. Wake up, adapt, thrive. Now, let me tell you about Luis, a retired teacher from Arizona, who first embraced cold exposure at age 69. For years, Luis had been battling fatigue, joint stiffness, and brain fog. He had resigned himself to these symptoms, believing they were just a part of getting older. But one day, he heard a podcast discussing the benefits of cold exposure and decided to give it a try. No ice baths, no expensive equipment, just a simple cold splash on his face, neck, and wrists every morning after brushing his teeth. At first, I absolutely hated it, Luis admitted with a chuckle. But something unexpected happened. I felt sharper afterward. My mind felt clearer. Within a few weeks, I noticed I wasn't groggy in the mornings anymore. I stopped needing my afternoon naps. Even my arthritis started feeling better. Luis is now 74, and not only has he regained his vitality, but he's also walking more, writing again, and volunteering twice a week at his local library. "I call it my 30-second reset button," he says. So, how can you add this to your morning routine? Here's the simple step-by-step guide. After your shower, or even before, stand over the sink or tub and splash cold water on your face, the back of your neck, and your wrists for at least 30 seconds. Alternatively, if you're already in the shower, finish with a burst of cold water hitting your upper back and chest for 30 seconds. While doing this, make sure to breathe slowly and deeply. That breath control isn't just calming. It's part of what helps strengthen your nervous system and boosts the effectiveness of the cold exposure. Why is this so impactful? In our modern climate-controlled world, we are insulated from natural temperature changes. We live in homes with central heating and air conditioning, and our bodies have become disconnected from the adaptive benefits of varying temperatures. However, in places like Okinawa, Sardinia, or the Nicoya Peninsula, regions known for having some of the longest-lived people in the world, temperature fluctuations are a natural part of daily life. Whether it's a cold morning breeze or a cool stream, these small, regular exposures to cold keep the body adaptable, resilient, and optimized. Without these minor stresses, our biology tends to become stagnant, vulnerable, and inefficient. That's why cold exposure is so beneficial. It awakens your body's ability to respond and adapt, just as it has done for thousands of years. It's not about toughness. It's about tuning into the natural wisdom your body already holds. Your mitochondria are waiting. Your brain is ready. All you need to do is turn the dial, take a deep breath, and let the cold awaken something ancient and powerful inside you. So, can you face 30 seconds of discomfort for a lifetime of benefits? It's a small sacrifice with a potentially huge payoff. Cold exposure isn't just about physical toughness, it's about utilizing the body's natural mechanisms to support longevity and vitality. It's about turning what seems like discomfort into a moment of revitalization. Habit 4. Gentle movement, activating your body's morning engine. Let me ask you a question. What if just 5 minutes of gentle movement in the morning could drastically reduce your risk of heart disease, improve your metabolic health, and help you feel more energized throughout the day, without ever stepping foot in a gym? Across the globe in blue zones, those rare regions where people frequently live into their 90s and beyond, scientists have uncovered a fascinating common thread. These long-lived individuals don't start their day with intense workouts or hour-long cardio sessions. In fact, you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone over 80 doing jumping jacks at sunrise. Instead, what they all have in common is this: gentle, consistent movement before breakfast, a short walk to tend the garden, a slow stretch in the sunshine, sweeping the porch. These small actions are far more powerful than they seem. Dr. Laura Kim, a metabolic health researcher at Stanford University, breaks it down. Light-intensity movement in a fasted state triggers a cascade of metabolic benefits. It activates your fat-burning pathways, enhances insulin sensitivity, and sets the tone for healthier blood sugar levels throughout the day. The timing is key. Movement before food tells your body to prioritize cellular repair and efficient energy usage. Let me tell you about Helen, a 70-year-old grandmother from Minnesota. A few years ago, Helen was diagnosed with prediabetes and early signs of arthritis. Mornings were especially tough. She woke up feeling stiff, sluggish, and mentally foggy. She wasn't ready to jump into a workout program, and she didn't need to. Her doctor recommended a simple daily ritual, 5 minutes of movement before breakfast. So Helen started each day with a slow walk down her driveway and back, followed by some gentle stretching in her kitchen. Nothing fancy, nothing strenuous. Within weeks, her energy improved. Within months, her blood sugar stabilized. And within a year, Helen's doctor took the prediabetes label off her chart. I didn't think 5 minutes would matter, she told me, but it wasn't about the time. It was about giving my body the message that I was ready to live, not just survive. Here's what you can do starting tomorrow. Before you eat, before you even sit down with your morning coffee, move. Just 5 to 10 minutes of low-intensity activity is enough. You could take a short walk outside, do a few gentle yoga poses, try some Tai Chi in the living room, or turn on your favorite song and dance in your kitchen while the kettle boils. It doesn't matter what you do, it matters that you do it. Your muscles are most receptive to insulin in the early morning, especially in a fasted state. That means your body will burn fat more efficiently and regulate blood sugar more effectively when you move before eating. Plus, this habit can reduce inflammation, increase joint mobility, and even improve your mental clarity for the rest of the day. And remember, this isn't about punishment or pushing yourself to the brink. It's about honoring your body's natural rhythms and activating your internal systems in a way that promotes long-term health and vitality. Can you commit to 5 minutes tomorrow morning? Not for the sake of exercise, but as a loving signal to your body that today is another day to thrive. Because those who live the longest don't sprint. They start slow and steady every morning without fail. Habit 5. Morning Purpose Check-in. The power of knowing your why. What if I told you that having a clear, defined purpose in life could significantly reduce your risk of dying early? In fact, research shows that having a strong sense of purpose can lower your risk of death by over 30%. Yet, as we age, many of us start to feel disconnected from that sense of direction. We might ask ourselves, what's the point of getting up today? If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. In Okinawa, Japan, a place home to some of the oldest, healthiest people on Earth, there's a word that captures this essential concept: ikigai. It translates to a reason for getting up in the morning. And every centenarian there can tell you their ikigai without hesitation. It could be as simple as caring for their family, continuing their craft, or tending to their garden. Whatever it is, it gives them a reason to live with passion and purpose every single day. One of the most powerful studies on purpose and longevity was conducted by psychologists at the University of Michigan. They followed over 7,000 older adults and found that those with a clear sense of purpose lived longer, had lower rates of dementia, and experienced fewer chronic diseases. What's more, having purpose engages areas of the brain responsible for decision-making, focus, and emotional regulation, allowing us to better manage stress and create healthier habits. Let me share the story of Rosa, an 87-year-old woman who lives in a small coastal town. Rosa's life is filled with meaning because of her daily routine centered around her purpose. Every morning while waiting for her coffee to brew, Rosa reads a simple note she keeps next to her coffee maker. It reads, "To care for my grandchildren and grow my garden." She doesn't just glance at it, she reflects on it, letting it sink in as she takes her first sip of coffee. "I've been doing this for years," Rosa says with a smile. "Even on tough days, even when I'm not feeling my best, I remind myself of why I'm here. It grounds me and gives me energy to keep moving forward." Rosa's ikigai might sound small, but it's profound. It's the anchor that holds her steady and guides her through the ups and downs of life. The act of focusing on this purpose every morning isn't just a habit, it's a powerful signal to her brain that her life has meaning and importance. This simple daily ritual is the reason she continues to thrive, even in her late 80s. Here's your action step. Tomorrow morning, take a moment to think about your own purpose. What gets you out of bed in the morning? What drives you to live fully each day? Write it down on a note card, a sticky note, or even in your phone. It could be something deeply personal, like to share my love with my family or to continue learning and growing. Perhaps it's to help others or to make a difference in my community. Once you've written your purpose, make it a daily habit to read it aloud every morning. Let it resonate deeply within you. You don't need to make it complicated or philosophical. It just needs to be something that aligns with your values and gives you motivation. This isn't some new age concept. It's based on neuroscience. Research shows that when we reconnect to our sense of purpose, we activate the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for thinking, planning, and decision-making. This not only helps regulate stress, but also boosts immune function and improves overall well-being. It's like giving your brain the fuel it needs to perform at its best. So, tomorrow morning, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what is my purpose today? It could be a simple task, a small gesture, or a grand mission. Whatever it is, make sure you check in with it every morning. If you can define your why, you're already on the path to a longer, more fulfilling life. Habit 6. Nutrient-dense, anti-inflammatory breakfast. Fuel your body for longevity. Did you know that the way you break your overnight fast can make or break your health for the rest of the day? Too many people kick off their mornings with sugary cereals, toast, or even skip breakfast altogether, setting the stage for blood sugar spikes, energy crashes, and hormonal chaos. But if you're serious about living a long, healthy life, there's a better way to start your day. And it comes from the eating habits of the world's longest living people. People in longevity hotspots, places like Sardinia, Costa Rica, and Ikaria, don't rely on processed foods or quick-fix breakfasts. Instead, they begin their mornings with nutrient-dense, anti-inflammatory foods that give their bodies the fuel they need to thrive. These foods are typically slow-digesting, packed with fiber, healthy fats, and natural antioxidants that help regulate blood sugar, combat inflammation, and provide sustained energy. Dr. Simone Brooks, a nutritional epidemiologist who has studied aging populations, explains it best. Breakfast is your body's first opportunity to regulate inflammation and blood sugar. A poor breakfast choice can set off a chain reaction of hormonal imbalance, spiking insulin and causing inflammation that accelerates aging. Let's take a look at Alina's story. At 76, Alina was struggling with chronic arthritis, constant fatigue, and persistent joint pain. Her doctor recommended she try a Blue Zone-style breakfast, modeled after the eating habits of those in regions known for their longevity. Alina switched to a hearty, anti-inflammatory breakfast consisting of steel-cut oatmeal with walnuts and cinnamon, sautéed spinach, a boiled egg, and a cup of green tea. The results were remarkable. Within just 4 weeks, Alina's inflammation markers had dropped by 35%. Not only did her joint stiffness ease, but she also felt more energized and mentally clear throughout the day. Her new breakfast habit had a profound impact on her health, and it didn't require any extreme changes, just small mindful shifts to nourish her body from the inside out. Now, it's your turn. Here's your challenge. Rebuild your breakfast to include more nutrient-dense, anti-inflammatory foods. Ditch the processed sugars, refined grains, and quick-fix options. Instead, focus on foods that are high in fiber, healthy fats, and plant compounds. These choices will help stabilize your blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and keep you feeling satisfied longer. Here are a few examples of nutrient-dense, anti-inflammatory breakfast ideas. A bowl of steel-cut oats with chia seeds, flax seeds, and fresh berries. A veggie-packed omelet cooked in olive oil with a side of avocado. A small serving of fermented vegetables like kimchi, sauerkraut, or miso for a gut-friendly boost. A warm cup of herbal tea, like green tea or ginger tea, instead of sugary coffee drinks or energy drinks. If you're thinking, I can't make all of these changes overnight, don't worry. You don't need to overhaul everything at once. Start by making one small change this week, whether it's swapping out that sugary cereal for oatmeal or adding a handful of leafy greens to your morning meal. Over time, these small shifts will add up to big improvements in your health. So, what's one anti-inflammatory food you could add to your breakfast tomorrow? Maybe it's a handful of walnuts or some fresh turmeric. Whatever it is, make the commitment to fuel your body properly, first thing in the morning. Your future self will thank you. Habit 7. Morning. Gratitude ritual. The free secret to protect your brain and boost longevity. What if I told you that the most powerful tool to protect your brain, boost your mood, and enhance your longevity is completely free? And it takes under 2 minutes? It's called gratitude. And it might just be the simplest yet most transformative practice you can start each day with. Neuroscientists have discovered that people who practice daily gratitude have stronger neural connections in the brain's reward centers, lower levels of the stress hormone cortisol, and a significantly reduced risk of both depression and cognitive decline. But the benefits don't stop there. Gratitude can help reduce inflammation, improve heart rate variability, which is a key marker of resilience, and even support overall cardiovascular health, especially in older adults. Dr. Kiran Vaswani, a neurologist specializing in aging and brain health, explains it perfectly. Gratitude changes the brain's default wiring. It reduces inflammation, improves heart rate variability, and boosts resilience, making it one of the most effective tools for healthy aging. Let me share the story of my friend Luis, who is 88 years old and has embraced this simple yet profound habit. Every morning before he eats or checks his phone, Luis writes down 3 things he's grateful for. Sometimes his gratitude list is big, like I'm alive today, and sometimes it's small, like I'm grateful for my warm socks. But no matter what, he says it has completely transformed the way he starts his day. Luis told me, I used to wake up dreading the day, unsure of what was coming. Now I wake up smiling, ready to face the world. It's like my entire outlook shifted just from taking a moment to acknowledge what's good in my life. Here's your action step. Keep a small notebook, notepad, or even a journal next to your bed or coffee maker. The moment you wake up, write down 3 things you're grateful for, big or small. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate. The key is to make this a daily habit. Over time, your brain will begin to scan the world for positivity, and the simple act of reflecting on what's good in your life will become second nature. The power of gratitude lies in its consistency. You'll find that it not only improves your mood, but it also helps strengthen your immune system, support brain health, and protect against age-related cognitive decline. Plus, you'll build resilience that helps you navigate challenges with a sense of calm and optimism. Could you spare just 2 minutes tomorrow morning to list your blessings? Imagine starting every day with a heart full of appreciation and a brain wired for positivity. It may sound simple, but it's one of the most effective longevity practices you can adopt. One that could add years to your life. There you have it. 7 life-changing morning habits practiced by those who live into their 90s and beyond. These habits are grounded in science, proven by the experiences of people like Walter, Sylvia, Benjamin, and many others. And they don't require fancy supplements, expensive gadgets, or hours of your day. The best part? They're simple, accessible, and achievable. It's all about making small, intentional changes that align with your body's natural rhythms. These shifts could have a profound impact on your health, energy, and longevity. But here's the real question. Will you take action? Will you implement these habits starting tomorrow? You don't have to do everything at once. Begin with just one habit. Place a glass of water on your nightstand tonight. Step outside for 5 minutes of morning sunlight. Write your purpose on a sticky note and read it each morning. These tiny actions can kickstart a transformation. What if this next decade could be different from the last? not because of chance, but because you took simple, consistent steps toward a longer, healthier life. Walter, Sylvia, Benjamin, and the others didn't rely on luck or magic pills. They found a morning routine that worked with their biology, not against it. And now you have that same blueprint right at your fingertips. So, what will your morning look like tomorrow? What small habit will you start with to begin shifting the trajectory of your health? The choice is yours, and so is your future.